this is Ryan, and this is the Midweek News.
On Artblog Radio. Good morning, Ryan. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm back from Milwaukee and I had a wonderful time. And we just switched states because you're not here anymore. You went to Michigan, right?
I am back in Michigan. It's birthday season here with my family.
Oh, birthday season. Yeah. Ours is winter. We have
Hmm.
every single person almost is a winter birthday. I don't know. Why do they congregate like that? It's funny.
I don't know. We have a lot of Leos, so they're
Oh,
all kind of
interesting.
stuck around August.
Well, happy birthday to all the Leos out
Yeah.
there. Yeah. All right. So, Michigan is going to be good. Is the weather good?
Yeah, we're in northern Michigan, so near
Hmm.
Traverse City, so it's a little bit cooler than Philly, which is kind of nice. I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
And we're near Lake Michigan, which gives you some, we're on the east side of Lake Michigan, so you get nice sunsets as well.
beautiful. I, speaking of Lake Michigan, Milwaukee was hotter than hell. It was
Oh,
really very hot and sunny, and humid, like high humidity. So that was a surprise. It was sort of like not leaving Philadelphia in that respect. Um, But Lake Michigan looks terrific from this side, from the Wisconsin side. The parks are pristine and the beach has all kinds of beach volleyball on it. There's several beaches that are in the county park system. And so they have lifeguards and all kinds of sand that they truck in and volleyball. And then I don't remember tiki bars being on the beach, but they've got little stations of tiki bar where you can get your beverage and then play your volleyball. It looked really great, looked really nice. And beautiful
nice.
sunrises over Lake Michigan.
Nice.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's get on to the news since
All
we've
right.
done the states. I want to say there's a few things I want to talk to people about in the news today. The biggest one, I think, the top headliner is Commonweal Gallery, which is run by Alex Connor and has been on Latimer Street, kitty corner from the Print Center for 3 years now, just announced that they're moving to Masher Street in the what's being called the old Kensington Arts Corridor, which is near Crane Arts and the Clay Studio and the American Street Corridor. That's very big news, and it's going to be a bigger space and maybe even a space that you don't have to climb up steps to get to, which will be nice for everybody. More accessible is better. And Commonweal is also they announced that they're going to go to Art on Paper Fair in New York in October with 17 local artists' work. So that's very exciting. And we know some of the artists, and in fact, Annette Monnier, if we're going to drop a name, is one of the 17 artists that will be at Commonweal's booth at Art on Paper. Um, Next, we have the Barnes Foundation and St. Joe's University partnering for an online museum education graduate program. And this seems really a good thing for them to do online. You have to say, well, that's not as good as in person, but it is a nice partnership that the Barnes Foundation, a nice museum that has museum curators and educators known for its education program, is partnering with an institution like St. Joe's that has an education program. You can get a PhD in education, I think, or at least a master's from St. Joe's University. So that's good news. More collaboration. I'm all for it. The Fabric Workshop and Museum announced they have a new executive director coming on board in September. Kelly Schindler will be replacing Harry Philbrick, who has been interim since the previous executive director, Christina, whose name I'm blanking on. We'll fill that in the transcript. Christina moved to Cincinnati to take a leadership position in a museum there. So the Fabric Workshop, all right. Kelly Schindler comes to them from Pew. She's been at the Pew Center for Arts and Heritage for, I believe, 8 or 10 years. And she has a lot of experience in fundraising. And so this is always necessary for an executive director. And bravo. And we're happy to hear this news. And I have one opportunity I want to mention. There's something called the Philadelphia City Fund that has announced a subsidiary program, I guess you'd call it, called the Community Fund. So there's a Philadelphia City Fund and then slash Community Fund. And they're offering a grant now that you can apply for an after-school pre-K through 12 is the age range, and Nourish the Mind, it's called. So presumably you're going to nourish the bodies too. I think that's important. You've got to, feed the children, in my opinion. But this is about nourishing the mind. So it sounds like a really good opportunity. We'll put some more information about that and links into the transcript. And that application is due on August 26th. So that's it for my news roundup, Ryan. What do you
Great.
got?
Yeah, so there's some openings that are happening. This is coming up to second Thursday, so you're going to see a lot of happening at the Crane Arts. One standout is Box Spring Gallery. It's one of the newer galleries. They have an opening reception coming up on the 8th. Plays of Players has a Poems and Movies, Sometimes I Dream in Farsi, also on the 8th. That quilt show that I mentioned, that 24-hour quiltathon
Oh, yeah,
performance
yeah.
piece with live music going 24 hours, open to the public during specific hours. That's coming up at it's going to be at Fleischer in the Sanctuary on the 9th. So if you're interested in that, well, 9th and 10th, I guess I should say. But that's going to be quite an interesting show. If you want to stop in and get your quilt on, I still think they'd be really good.
Actually,
Um,
I want to say that I was reading on I think it was Instagram, where they were putting some information about this. And the quilters are not going to be allowed to speak amongst themselves. They're going to whistle. It's going to be whistling only.
Oh my
You
goodness.
can speak when you come. I mean, this is a thing. It's a
Yeah.
happening. It's going to be really amazing. And I'm not sure that I think you can probably bring fabric to contribute. I'm not sure they're going to let you, pick up a needle and stitch with them.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see the whistling quilters.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. So I'm curious how that turns out.
Totally.
Uh, and then I usually give you a theater pick. So
Hmm.
starting August 9th is the 10-year celebration of Philly Women's Theater Festival. That'll be hosted at Theater Exile. There'll be a lot of plays and readings and performances from August 9th through the 18th
Hmm.
at Theater Exile. So that's 10 years of that. Well worth a look at that. Take a look. Those links and events are all on artblogconnect.org. Find those all there. And then the library has one coming up on the 16th, Roberta, that I was curious about.
Hmm.
So obviously we do online publishing. So I was curious. Their
Hmm.
event is August 16th. It's called Black Tea Rhapsody, a homage to African American tea culture. And I was curious, whenever I see something like that, I think that grammar is like, is it a homage or an homage? And do we say homage or like the British, a hard H or a softer H like Americans, or no H like the French? Like it comes from homage, like they would say homage without the H. So, it's one
Wow.
of those funny grammar things that are based on kind of how you say it. So if you say
Yeah.
hotel or hotel, I guess it would be the kind of something similar. So.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that was really, really funny to always hear. So you can hear how someone speaks by how they are placing it grammatically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, how they speak might be grammatical.
Yeah.
There's vernacular speech that is acceptable and in the dictionary. And I understand what you're saying. And it is a funny sort of grammatical thing where the H, I would say an hotel. I think I'd even say an and pronounce the H of hotel and
Huh.
hotel. I'm going to get, or would I say I'm going to get a hotel? Yes, I would say I'm going to get a hotel for the weekend.
Yeah. I would as
Yeah,
well. I would say a hotel,
a hotel. Yeah.
but I would
So,
say an homage.
uh-huh.
Homage. Yeah.
Right, because it's kind of
Yeah.
a French word, and hotel
Yeah.
is just, I mean, anglicized, I think. If it was French to begin with, I don't even know. Hmm. Funny.
Yeah.
Grammar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hotel also is French, which is funny
Oh, is
because,
it?
yeah.
Huh. Okay.
uh, So
Homage. Well,
that's all about how we
we,
speak. It's kind of
it,
interesting.
right. And grammar is peculiar. It just
Hmm.
is peculiar. I mean, the effect, affect, does anybody ever get that right? I have to look it up every single AP style book in front of me always because I don't know what it is. I can't memorize that. It's just too slippery. And then I've been seeing, speaking of grammar, something that I think is really odd. You know, there's English grammar and English ways, there's English, and there's American English.
Yeah.
And in English, a collective noun like a sports team, a team gets a plural verb, like the team were going, meaning the group, were going. It's always a plural verb. And that's not the way we deal with that over here. Collective noun, we'd say the team was going. The team was going to the arena, et cetera, et cetera. So, but lately, and not a lot, but I have seen in American news feeds a plural verb going with a collective noun. And I'm just thinking, uh-oh, is this creeping into our American English that we're now going to have a collective noun get a plural verb the way the British do? I would prefer to keep our American English, actually. I like our American English.
Yeah. Yeah. They have a lot of fun phrases and idioms that I wish Americans had more of those. Obviously,
Hmm.
the age of the language makes probably
Mhm.
the biggest difference to that. And there's only like one that I can think that we directly translated, which was throw a wrench in the works.
Hmm.
And they don't say wrench, they say spanner.
Oh, a
So
spanner. Yes.
I was trying to think of another one. Oh, like Bob's your uncle.
Oh, right.
But
Which
I
I
feel like
don't.
that,
Hmm.
yeah, I think it has different meaning, which I think is different. I think like I'm trying to think of one that's like a one-to-one translation, but it's different words. But
Hmm. All
well, I
right.
guess we do. Our family does hacks and bodge, but that's always just us.
I don't even know what that means. Hacks
Oh,
and bodge.
yeah. So like if you're making a repair, are you doing a hack? Like you've come up with a
Hmm.
new clever way to fix something and make it work? Or is it a
Hmm.
bodge where it's like just a little more duct tape and you'll have success, or it'll hold together just a little bit longer? That's a bodge. Yes. Is it a good repair or a bad repair? Kind of
Uh-huh.
quality or not?
Where did that come from, Ryan?
Hmm. I don't know.
Mm.
British. I'm not sure uh
Hmm.
where these phrases come from, but
Yeah.
well,
Funny.
that's it for me. That's all I've got this week.
No more grammar talk. No.
I don't have more on grammar. Maybe next time.
Let's research grammar and talk it up a little.
Yeah, people are gonna love that. There are a lot of shows. There are a couple podcasts though that do talk about like etymology of words and where they came
Hmm.
from and why we speak the way we do. I'm sure I
People
could
are
die.
interested in words and
Yeah,
language.
yeah,
It's fascinating stuff. Well, to be continued. Let's do some research here. Come back with
yeah,
some art words, etymology and whatnot.
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
I think next week there's more data that has come in that I'd like to talk about, and there's been some interesting articles that have been written
Oh, good.
uh, talking about data, but also talking about art schools, closing
Hmm.
of art schools, and why.
Mm,
So look for that
good.
next week. We'll get into the meat and potatoes of that.
Excellent. Excellent. Meat and potatoes. That
Yeah,
sounds like it's an Americanism.
I think so too.
Okay, that's it for news podcast, midweek news podcast. It's Roberta. Thanks for listening.
And thanks for listening. This is Ryan, and this has been Artblog Radio's Midweek News.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.